East Austin been neglected? Yes. East Austin has been neglected. As a city, East Austin has been neglected, but that's been from the beginnings of East Austin. I mean, from Austin. East Austin, early in the 1900s, and even into the first quarter of 1900s, was predominantly an industrial park. This is where the recycling plants were. This is where the dump was. This is where the big manufacturing plants, those kinds of things were located. But one of the things I see happen in East Austin is a lot of again, the whole disparity thing. If we throw a dog a bone, the dog won't bite me. I can walk around the dog. And I think that's what's happened a lot of times. Really, the dog finally realizing after you've walked by him, there's no meat on this bone. But a lot of times people are so hungry for stuff. A lot of times people are so a lot of times it's a desperate situation. We got a lot of poverty in East Austin where people can barely afford to pay their own bills, not to mention keep their house up. And so you ask them, go out and vote. Man, my roof leaks, my toilet is leaking, I got a hole in my floor, people driving by, and people drinking across the street constantly, and you want me to go vote? I got bigger worries that I have to take care of than go out and vote.
The illusion is like better, but the real deal is like getting worse because, as you can see, East Austin is getting prettier and much nicer looking, but at the same time, it's like, while this is going on, what's happening to the elderly in East Austin? What's happening to the children or the schools? With this neighborhood, my children went through turmoil at the school across the street, just right across the street from my house. They could not get the education and the attention that they needed at the school right here across the street from their house. So I transferred my kids to Matthews on the west side. My kids are happy, their grades are up, and I'm still, right to this day, trying to figure out what's the difference. Both of these schools are under the AISD school system. We need the neighborhood. We need people to stand up and take pride in their property. Take pride. If this lady next door to me, if she doesn't want to cut her yard, I need to take pride in my neighborhood and just go over there and cut it and not ask for anything, because we're both renters. And so if her house is falling down and looking bad, that makes my corner look bad. So we need a sense of community that way. So thank God for the Guadalupe Neighborhood Association. Heritage Heights, we could never get ours together. Nobody showed up because these homes, the Heritage Heights division, was supposed to be homes for people like us. But the city made a raw deal, as usual.
A lot of the political power that's being exercised in East Austin actually is helping gentrification because, for instance, the Holly Street Power Plant is being attacked as a type of environmental racism. The tank farms, which were out on Airport Boulevard and are now gone, they were moved by the political activists in East Austin. You have these various nuisances that are being eliminated from East Austin, and if it's going to be upper income people, more likely white, who inherit East Austin after it's cleaned up by the people who, the political activists are making East Austin a desirable place to be gentrified. They're removing those things, those elements of East Austin that actually kept the prices down and kept homes affordable for people.
From a political side or from the community side, one of the things that I think we face is the whole sense of isolation and exclusion. East Austin is always an afterthought. In many cases, we have, when they built the new airport out in the valley, I don't know that people really thought about what would happen to the space between downtown and the airport, which is East Austin. Well, it's become a big thoroughfare. People don't drive to East Austin; they drive through it. There are restaurants and there are people, things that people come in and check out and stuff. But for the most part, it's 7th Street has become this thoroughfare. Cesar Chavez is becoming the same thing.
It's like if somebody comes knocking on your door, and they have some pill that's going to cure your heart disease or something, some really wonderful product. Well, I'm so used to people knocking on my door, and I just don't answer. I tell them, go away. I don't even want to hear about the product, okay? So, I mean, that happens. People have, they've been promised wonderful things by politicians so many times now, and yet they've found out never once were they delivered on. So, why bother with them? The city is giving the developers of the Bennett Tract, I don't know, it's millions of dollars of subsidies to help them produce, develop and build whatever they're going to put there, a shopping mall, some offices, some whatever.
We don't necessarily want a bunch of huge businesses going up more than a lot of us want communities and homes and businesses that are neighborhood friendly. Grocery stores, drugstores, those kinds of things.
It's kind of ironic that the citizens of Austin are going to be paying through their property taxes or in some other way to help build a development which is probably going to lead to increasing property values in the neighborhood around it. And that is going to lead to some low-income and fixed-income people probably being forced out of their homes when their property values go up and they're no longer able to pay the tax.
These people, if they really, really love East Austin, maybe they should live in East Austin. Live here with us. Come knock on our doors. Don't just come out and want to be friends with us just because it's time to vote. Let us see you at this school. This is Blackshear Elementary School. This was one of the first black schools in Austin. It's one of the oldest schools. It's over 100 years old. And, this was the only black school. And, this is where Ron Davis and DeWanna Dukes and everybody should have been coming. They should come here and do volunteer work at this school. Let the community know that you recognize us, that you're not just thinking about people like my grandfather, but what about the future? The children at that school.